Hello everyone, and welcome to the Prince Magnum channel where hot rodding and romance do coexist. I'm your host, Prince Magnum. Welcome to another live stream of Surviving Romance. All right, we got a heck of a doozy for y'all tonight. It's that last live stream just before I take a day off, if that's what you want to call it. And it's definitely a live stream, definitely worthy of doing. With some areas of the United States and other parts of the world still under quarantine, it just makes sense to do an episode like this. And at the same time, I'm going to take y'all down memory lane for what the United States used to be like after the Second World War. Okay, so we got a lot of ground to cover, and Surviving Romance is definitely one of those. How you doing, Pinky? Think different? Oh my goodness, everyone's coming in all at once. So we're definitely going to take a dive into kind of a world that you all may not be familiar with. The old drive-in style date that has kind of faded into obscurity. Fast food chains like where I work, McDonald's, and several of the other fast food restaurants, out there. There's only one that is still one fast food chain that's still trying to keep it alive, and that's Sonic. And that's about as close as you're going to get to what it was like back after the Second World War, as these drive-in style places started kind of popping up all over the U.S. And the oldest one that I know of is right over in Fredericktown, and it's a place called The Pig, and they've been there since 1947. It's Princess Faye's and my favorite place to go eat. So definitely worth your time, but because there's still a lot of places under quarantine. Think different. You live in this neck of the woods. You know what I'm talking about. You know the place. You're actually probably a little bit closer than I am, because I live in Bonne Terre, and that's quite literally at cruising speed with Project Spirit. It's about a half an hour drive. Worth a half an hour drive, but it's a half an hour drive. So we haven't had a chance to get out there again. Usually we like to go out there about once a month. We like to go out there, and The Pig is one of our favorite places to feature here on the Prince Magnum channel. They're one of my favorite places to feature. Well, because of quarantines and everything like that, and the Prince Magnum channel is no different on the self-quarantine, we're going to kind of talk about, basically we're going to do kind of a diner style dish, drive-in style dish, and tonight, kind of like basically chili cheese tater tots we're going to do. And we're going to do them in a way that's still pretty easy to do at home. You don't have to, not a whole lot in the way of cleanup and things like that. So it's going to be based on that. But at the same time, we're going to actually go over some things that I definitely recommend people doing, just some basic cooking stuff that y'all are pretty familiar with me doing here on the channel. But I will say this right now. If we're going to talk diners or drive-ins and old dives like that from prior to World War, after World War II, we're going to have to go out and see Project Spirit. We're going to have to go out and hang with the old girl for just a few minutes, because I know a lot of people miss seeing her. The weather, today, it looks sunny right now, but what's going on, Gamerin? There's my boy, Mr. Rage. He got upset in that one out. I was like, oh my gosh, I know that feeling. I know how some games are kind of stupid like that. So we are going to go out and hang with Project Spirit for a few minutes. I just did some light tune-up stuff to her. We actually went through and what's going on, Carla and crew? Right now we're kind of warming up to an interesting live stream. We're going to be basically we're going to talk about the old style drive-in restaurants. And we're even going to do a dish that you might have found in one of those drive-in style restaurants. I love drive-in food. I love drive-ins, okay? The closest you're going to get today is going to your local Sonic restaurant, or if you can find them, there are still some of those old style drive-in restaurants like you would have found that started popping up everywhere after the Second World War. And I love those style of diners. They're kind of a thing of the past. There is one where I live, and I was just talking about it, a place called The Pig out in Fredericktown, Missouri. And it is one of our favorite places here on the Prince Magnum channel to feature. Um, yeah, yeah, you know exactly what I'm talking about now. Now you're in that area, and again, this started kind of becoming a thing of the past. When fast food chains like McDonald's started kind of taking over the landscape. There, if you're talking about the one over there you're talking about the one over in. They do. I do think they do sell pork product over there, but we're talking like burgers, fries, chili dogs, and things like that. That's the type of the drive-in stuff that back then, and that's kind of a thing of the past. But yeah, they do sell some pork stuff over there. I think they've got like even deep fried pork fritters for all I know. So yeah, I guess they do sell pig. Ice cream, yeah, stuff like that. Now Hunt's is more closer to what McDonald's originally was. You, the way McDonald's really did this is and for those that are not familiar, there was a McDonald's, the McDonald's brothers. Um, right, that's it. That's exactly it, Carla. That was actually something that was very, very commonplace back then. What's going on, T-Belly? Welcome to the live stream. Folks, let me take a moment before I go any further. We have an absolute gem here on YouTube, Mr. T-Belly. T-Belly here does a lot of retro games, very old school stuff. Absolutely a really, really nice guy. He has this way that when you come into his live stream, you feel like it's an epic entrance. I mean, you almost feel like there should be pyro going off as he announces you. I'm not kidding. This guy is really awesome. So if you've not checked out our boy T-Belly, you're definitely missing out. Wonderful personality, absolutely a great friend to the Prince Magnum channel, and has been a part of the Maverick Nation's expansion, where we began to grow at the exponential rate that we did last year to get to where we're at now, to be able to do some of the things that we're able to do right now. So T-Belly was actually a part of those earlier, I guess you could say year 3 going into year 4 expansion. And now we're staring down the barrel at if you will, at the 5-year marker. And we were talking at the beginning of this year that if we did not meet, oh no, thank you, T-Belly. Well, you know what? Since we're talking diner, drive-in food. There's no better way than to take you truly back in time. I'm going to grab my cellular device, and y'all are going to take a walk with me. T-Belly, you are about to meet the true star of the Prince Magnum channel. I'm the host. Big difference. I'm the host. The true star, she's outside. You must meet Project Spirit. There is no car like her. Promise. She's at work right now, and she'll be home here in a little bit. So I'm kind of, that's what a lot of this is right now, where we're kind of chit-chatting about the old days and that sort of thing. And she'll be home here in a little bit. But basically, I'm cooking drive-in style food for my beautiful wife. What's going on, filming? Welcome to the live stream, my man. All right, T-Belly. This is Project Spirit. My 1975 Ford Maverick. She still drives every day with us. She takes me to and from work Along with that, I also take my beautiful wife out on dates in this car. This is the true star of the Prince Magnum channel. Coming up on 300,000 all original miles on her engine. Averages 40 miles to the gallon on the highway and has a top speed of 130 miles per hour. This is the true star of the Prince Magnum channel. So when I say this is where hot rodding and romance do coexist, this is exactly what I'm talking about. This is what I mean. This is what I do. I work on old cars, I make them drive, and then I'll take my wife out on dates in cars just like this. Well, yeah, she's got rust. Come on, gamer, and this is a 45-year-old car. Of course you're going to get rust. Now, this is the type of car that you would have taken your sweetheart, and because you got the 4 doors, perfect for double dates. You would take your sweetheart, and a friend and his date out to a nice drive-in. There you go. But you would take him out to a nice drive-in restaurant. Yeah, that's really solid for a Missouri car. All right, hang on a second. Let me go get the keys real quick. We'll go get the keys for Project Spirit. You guys are going to love some of this old school stuff. And basically, I'm going to take you all back in time to, the original 6-cylinder is still there. Most of the time, a lot of people will take the 6-cylinders from back then, they'll yank them out and throw them away. Well, the old Ford inline 6s were good, solid engines. Everyone's hearing, you know how a lot of us American gearheads get, we think V8 is the only way. And there used to be a time, the time that I'm actually talking about with your old drive-ins and things like that, there used to be a time 6-cylinders were what was being hot rodded. And that's not a joke. There was a time in our country when the 6-cylinder was king of the drag strip too. Because V8s hadn't really come into their own yet. So let us grab the keys to the beast. All right? Because I know at some point y'all want to hear a run. I know y'all want to hear Project Spirit run. What's going on, Gavin John? Welcome to the live stream, my man. We got all sorts of wonderful people here. All right. So, since we're talking about the old style drive-in restaurants and things, one of the things that will not go away in Project Spirit, very important, is none other than her bench seat. Now, I know a lot of people say that bucket seats are the way to go because they're sportier looking. Nah, in the world of romance, bucket seats suck. Because in Project Spirit, Princess Faye can sit right next to me. I can put my arm around her. So as we're going, exactly, as we're going down the road, I could put my arm around her and we cruise down the road, just the two of us. How you doing, Queen Bee? So this is perfect for a drive, again, for the old style dates that I'm talking about. Now, today, with the stop and go traffic and things like that, I will be open and honest with you. You only here 15 minutes? Oh, well, that's okay. You're still here. That's all that matters. Okay. That's all that matters, Queen. Just glad that you're here. But again, we're talking about, a different time. These bench seats going out. We cruise down the road, but with stop and go traffic, unfortunately, Project Spirit has a stick shift. There you go. Project Spirit has a stick shift. And because she has a stick shift with stop and go traffic, hell, it's kind of hard to keep my arm around my sweetheart then. So eventually we'll put an automatic in it in the old car, but you're gonna love this. You're gonna love this. When I say stick shift, I'm a real stick shift, not that crap that they put in them today. There you go. This is a 3-speed manual transmission. Now, Miss Carla might remember what I'm going to be talking about, okay? She used to be a 3 on the tree. What's going on, Zombie Queen? We're talking about the old style drive-in restaurants, and I'm going to be doing one of those dishes tonight, but figured we might come out and take a look at my old car that I still take my wife out on dates in. And I mean a car they don't even make anymore. Zombie Queen. This is the true star of the Prince Magnum channel, Project Spirit. My 1975 Ford Maverick. Not only do I drive this car every day to and from work, but I also take my wife out on dates in. This is, oh yeah, Gamerin. Oh yeah, well, no, I haven't enough coffee yet. I'm still sipping on coffee. But this is the car we take that my wife and I go on dates in. Still chase after her like I never caught her. Now I know at some point y'all want to hear a 45-year-old engine fire up. Well, you're in luck. I got the keys. Now, Miss Zombie Queen, you're gonna love this. This is a 45-year-old car that my wife bought me. Now, real quick, you're gonna notice all of this down here. Well, you're gonna love this. This is for the steering wheel. Jesus Christ, I wish they'd disconnected that at the shop. Let's shut that real quick. This is for the steering wheel. Without this, the steering wheel doesn't move. From there, you have to have another key. That goes right there. Turn that to the on position, but that does not start the car yet. Nope, to start the car, we push in the brake, engage the clutch, put her in neutral, then reach over here and push this button. She's alive! Now real quick, put a 2 in front of that odometer, and that is how many miles this car's got. All right, you guys are gonna love this. By the way, I've had that speedometer buried before. She goes past 120. Okay. The sound that all the guys want to hear. My friends, my dear friends, that is the sound of a 45-year-old engine that has never been rebuilt and is coming on 300,000 miles. And again, averages 40 miles to the gallon on the highway. This is her engine bay. Now, you're going to see a lot of old school hot rodding stuff here, but this is kind of how we did it back then. My wife actually hand painted that herself. Even did Project Spirit's name up here.
And this is a 6-cylinder from back in the day, the old straight six. You don't see these anymore. Kind of thing of the past. And over here, we'll come over here and get a good look. Some more of my wife's artwork. My wife actually hand painted. Let's see if I can get it without knocking anything over. My wife actually hand painted wings on there. Oh, Mike, we're actually talking about the old drive-in restaurants, but thought we'd come out and actually take a look at a car that you would have found at one of those old drive-ins, and you know who that means we got to go see. Again, Project Spirit is the true star of the Prince Magnum channel. I'm just the host. And again, the full bench seat. So Princess Faye can scoot next to me and I can put my arm around her. I say, you just missed, Mike. I had her running. Started her up and everything. I still drive this car to and from work. That's what all that's from. Going to and from work. So I still drive this car every day. This is my daily driven car. And she's coming up on 300,000 all original miles. There you go. Thank you, Queen. I appreciate that. I appreciate that. So for our ladies, let me again reiterate, this is a husband and wife project. My wife, oh, you know I will. My wife actually took away the spray can and did that entire taillight panel. So we're actually quite the team on working on cars together. But this is the type of car. Oh, you are? That's awesome. I was going to say, I know you've been over there in Japan for a little while. But there you go. Yep, this is Project Spirit. Now, again, the true star. Now, when I start talking old school drive-in restaurants and things like that, that would have been a car you might have seen in one like that back in the 70s and in the early 80s. But that started going away with the franchise between restaurants. It was a horrible time. We lost out on a lot of great restaurants, and they had to close up because there was this big drive to push the smaller restaurants out, and then they were even trying to push, the bigger restaurant chains were even trying to kill each other. McDonald's nearly bankrupted themselves in the 80s trying to take out other restaurants. At one time here in Missouri, there was even there was one place called Pantera's Pizza. There was even a place called Burger Chef. My mother actually worked at these places. And the food there was amazing. Or so I'm told. But these are places that are in the past. So drive-in style restaurants, like I'm describing, where you would drive in, a car hop would come out and get your order, would go back in, and they would do it might take them a little while, but they would cook your food, bring your order out to you on a tray. We're talking like real dishes and things like that. They would hang it on your window. And not you too, Mike. But they would hang it on your window. Well, basically hang it where your window is. And, you'd hand out, you would eat in the car, put everything back on the tray, and it would go away. And that was how things were back then. Well, with the introduction of fast food chains like McDonald's and other places like that, they changed things. There was no need for the dishes and the trays. That's funny. And these things started going away.
You've seen more emphasis on stuff that could just be thrown out. Things like that. So these things kind of went away, and these restaurants started going away because everyone was going to like McDonald's and Hardee's and places like that. So these old style drive-ins started fading into obscurity. Now there's only a handful of them around the U.S. And again, one that we do usually feature here on the Prince Magnum channel is a place called The Pig, and they're up in Fredericktown and have been open since 1947. And it's one of my favorite places to go just because of that old school, that old style drive-in vibe that you get there. I love it. And of course, Project Spirit's a definite shoe-in because during the time when there was still a lot of these restaurants around, Project Spirit would have been brand new. For the record, when Project Spirit was brand new, one of the number one hits that was on the radio was Linda Ronstadt's "You're No Good," and that was in 1975. So that should give you, and that's a good song too. Linda Ronstadt's "You're No Good" was a number one hit in 1975 when Project Spirit was brand new. So we're definitely taking a trip down memory lane. Now, where does all this fit into surviving romance? Okay. Again, there are a lot of you out there that are stuck in quarantine. You can't get out. You're not going anywhere. Okay. You're not doing anything exciting. But yet you still got Sweethearts Gamer. And I know your missus is watching. So you take this one in. Okay. When this all lets up, obviously some of you might be getting out and going and doing some of this stuff. But if you live, across the pond, say, like some of you live in, I know some of you live in Australia. Gavin John was over in Japan, so I actually had someone from Japan regularly. And then, of course, over in the UK, I don't know if you guys got the drive-in style restaurants like I'm talking about, but if you do, then you definitely know exactly what I'm talking about. But unfortunately, again, here, I think that might have been just strictly a US thing. And, I love those restaurants. They're long gone, though, for the most part. So what I'm going to actually do is show you guys how to make that drive-in style food that something that you guys would have seen in that old drive-in restaurant. Basically, it's going to be chili cheese tater tots. Absolutely fantastic. Oh, and of course you got the Sonic drive-ins still, but that's about as close as you're going to get. And they still have a drive-through. That doesn't make any friggin' sense to me. You already pulled up there, fucking idiots. Anyhow, all right. So let me double check a couple of things, and we're going to make sure everything is under control. Right now, I'm kind of waiting for my dishwasher to finish what it's doing, but I mainly wanted to get you guys caught up and kind of give you. Okay, so you do know what I'm talking about, right, Gamer? That drive-in style, right? You know what I'm talking about, but you guys don't have anywhere you're at. Okay, but again, here in the U.S., everyone talks about a simpler time before all of this, before computers and everything started taking over and all that other crap, and when cars were actually cars and not just cellular devices on four wheels. This is what tonight is about. Why is this important? Because this was during a time when that's kind of romanticized about. No. Oh man, think different. I don't even go, man. It's a different time. That's a good way to have the crap beat out of you nowadays. Even joking about it. For the record, I am going to tell y'all a real funny joke. Princess Faye, as much as I love my wife, one day I was sitting down to watch a movie or something, and Princess Faye says, "Wait a minute, you're the one that does all this great cooking. Get your ass in the kitchen, bitch." My wife actually said, told me, her husband, to get his ass into the kitchen and then called me a bitch. Not a joke. My own wife did that to me. For the record, I wear the pants in this relationship. I have her permission to occasionally say I do. You like that on camera? Yeah, she came into the living room and said, "You're the one that does all this amazing cooking. What the hell are you doing in here? Get your ass into the kitchen, bitch." And I'm like, "What the hell?" I'm like, "I don't even know." And we both laugh about it, but yeah, she totally did that to me. It was funny as hell. Um, so again, tonight, that's going to be our main focus. Right now, I'm kind of killing a little bit of time because Princess Faye will be getting out at about 9. And I'm kind of doing my time configuration where everything will still be really nice and, perfect for when she gets home. But the main thing that I want y'all to understand is that this is simple, it's cheap, and it's easy. And anybody could do it. I mean, shoot, if you've got kids, they can learn this really easy. It doesn't take much. The only thing you might have to be a little concerned about is using the oven. Because as much as diner style food is deep fat and fried, we try to avoid that as much as possible here on the channel because there's a lot of us out there that can't have that stuff. So we're going to take the oven baked route with our with kind of our tater tots, but we are going to be going to the can, but we're going to do freshly grated cheddar cheese. You guys see where this is going. So there's going to be a lot of emphasis on, because it's supposed to be fast food still. So there's going to be a little bit of focus on that as well, trying to keep the authenticity as close to real as possible, if you will. Because this is something that's kind of traditional. And you try to avoid messing with tradition too much. I know some of you out there got air fryers too. I don't know how they are. I don't know. I haven't tried one. I hear they're good, but honestly, we've done deep frying here on the channel, and I don't mind deep frying. We're just not. We're gonna be doing tater tots with some chili on top of it, and we're gonna put on some shredded cheese, maybe some sour cream. Basically, this is a diner style dish that that you might have gotten, well, that drive-in style dish that you would have gotten in a drive-in restaurant back in the day when, say, even Project Spirit would have been brand new. So again, in the 1980s, there was this big focus on big, the big franchise restaurants. And like I said, McDonald's corporate nearly even bankrupted. There were several of them that nearly bankrupted themselves in what is sometimes still referred to as the restaurant wars. Basically, they went after each other. And as a matter of fact, during the restaurant wars, which did not end until almost the mid 90s, and now, because since the mid 90s, there's been this whole focus against these fast food chains. Now their big focus is trying to make themselves look like they're not as bad for your health as it really is. Fast food is called that for a reason, because it kills you as quick as it does. But ironically enough, people who ate the drive-in diner food they're still living forever. So what gives? I guess speed doesn't mean, yeah, all that speed that they can do to it. You guys see where this is going. You know exactly what I'm talking about. Unfortunately, because I get a free meal at my job every day, that's exactly what I do. So again, for those of you who are under quarantine, this is going to be definitely your episode. Because like I said, talking things like this, you definitely want to go out. You want to look at these old cars. I mean, I love old cars, but talking about this, you can't go out and not mention Project Spirit at this point. Again, this is what it's all about, because a lot of times I don't think we really, we talk about romance here on the channel and we do a lot of focus on romance here on the channel, but I need to specifically say this is a time in our country when romance was truly romanticized, I guess you could say. The guy who still opened the car door for his date, taking her somewhere, going to a drive-in restaurant, and cruising the town because you still wanted to be seen in the coolest car with the hottest gal. Let me say right now, there's still a lot of that in me. I'm still a teenager at heart. 40 years old, almost 41, and I'm still like this. Y'all aren't taking it. No one's taking it away from me, okay? And I still chase after my wife as if I'm still a teenager, okay? I still chase after her like a teenager. Yes, even occasionally like a horny teenager. I'm not gonna lie. That's what it's. But it's. How you doing, Rosie? Welcome to the live stream. So that's going to be the big focus tonight, is actually kind of taking you all back in time to these times that I'm talking about. When our country still had the drive-in restaurants, cars like Project Spirit, and food like we're going to enjoy tonight. So that's going to be our focus tonight. I hope you guys enjoy this, because I know I've been trying to, I get so excited about something like this, and you guys are like, dang, brother, lay off the caffeine. No, it isn't the caffeine. I get excited about doing stuff like this. This is where, if you would, no pun intended, talking about surviving romance and talking about the classic cars and everything, this is where the rubber meets the pavement. This is what it's all about. Things like we're doing right now. And I know a lot of you are still under quarantine. I'm under self-quarantine for the most part. It's only work, the occasional trip to the grocery store, and home. It is work and home mostly for me. We don't get out much right now. So to be able to bring something like this to you guys' home, this is what it's all about. Again, just because you're married doesn't mean the romance dies. And just because you're in quarantine doesn't mean you can't have your drive-in date. It just means it's got to change a little bit, and there's nothing wrong with that. Now, Rosie, I seen you popped in here into the live stream, and you kind of missed the true star of the Prince Magnum channel. I am not the star. I'm the host. If you listen to the opening, you'll hear me say, hello once again, and welcome to the Prince Magnum channel, where hot rodding and romance do coexist. I'm your host, Prince Magnum. And then I tell you what we're doing for the day. Well, notice I said I'm the host. I'm not the star. The real star is outside. Now, we're talking drive-in restaurants, the old style drive-in restaurants. I don't know how familiar you are with this, but these are things of the past. Basically, you would drive in. Let me say right now, cars have always been one of my first loves. And the reason why we put the hot rodding first is because that was the first thing we started doing other stuff, but hot rodding came first on this channel, and still a lot of times it does. You know exactly what I'm talking about. So, Rosie, if you are still on the live, you love cars too? You're in for a treat, because you have not met the real star of the Prince Magnum channel yet. No, the real star, we're going to go take a short walk. Actually, hang on. I'm going to set y'all back down for just a split second. You're going to love this. The real star of the Prince Magnum channel, again, is not me. The real star is Project Spirit. Now, if you're not familiar with Project Spirit, maybe you're still fairly new to the channel, that's perfectly okay. We're going to introduce you to the old girl. Project Spirit is my 1975 Ford Maverick that is still daily driven. Most of that stuff you see on the shelf behind me is for Project Spirit at some point in time or another down the road. There's like a radio over there that I bought, and just all sorts of stuff. So let's go meet
Project Spirit. You're going to fall in love with her, promise you will. But she's a 45-year-old car that is still daily driven. I drive her every day to and from work, and I take my wife out on dates in. So if that's any indication what it's all about. And you'll see why she's the real star here in a second, because after all these years, she still looks great. Shoot. Most people know, as a matter of fact, Think Different actually lives in my neck of the woods. And on top of that, because he lives in my neck of the woods, he actually knows the car you're about to see. This here is Project Spirit. This is a 1975 Ford Maverick four-door sedan with its original inline six, the inline 250, coming up on 300,000 miles, all original. The engine has not been rebuilt. Internally, it has not changed since this car was built in November of 1974. When this car was brand new, Linda Ronstadt's "You're No Good" was a #1 single on the radio. Oh, you seen her over there at work the other day? Yeah. The pinstriping you see on Project Spirit is not factory. My wife actually did that. She has a 3-speed manual transmission, and again, an inline six from technically 1974. She was built in November of 1974, listed as a 1975. This car has a top speed of 130 miles an hour, averages 40 miles to the gallon on the highway. And when I say she's coming up on 300,000 all original miles, add a 2 to the front of that, and is her mileage. By the way, the speedometer, yeah, I buried that. Metal dash, yeah. Things you just don't see anymore. By the way, the ignition setup. And that is our true star. Buried. Yeah, so they don't, this is the type of car that would have been at those drive-ins. Power steering? Yes. No airbags. She does have power steering. It barely works. But that's one of the next things. Before we consider the V8 conversion, that is exactly one of the things that has to change. The only reason why we're doing a V8 conversion is because it's just easier to get the parts for the engines. The inline sixes are, again, almost Type F. Very good. Very good. What Think Different actually mentioned was, at one time we did not use power steering fluid for power steering. We used automatic transmission fluid. That is what we did. We used automatic transmission fluid. What's the difference between automatic transmission fluid and power steering fluid? 2 things: the detergent that's used in the fluid and the price. You pay more for power steering fluid. It's a ripoff. And that started all the way back in the 1980s. But here in a few minutes, after we talk a little bit more history, again, this is the time era that romance is, pre-1981. Which a lot of your GMs didn't change over. They were still using the Saginaw's that you would have typically found in the 70s. So you actually had, it was around 5 for the GMs, sooner for some of the other cars. But yes, you're absolutely right. The old Saginaw still used power steering fluid all the way up until I think like 1985, 1986, in that ballpark area.
when they swapped over. But yeah, for those of us who have no life and mess with cars, since they were teenagers and still think they're teenagers. Hmm. So again, this is a time frame that um, what I'm talking about. This is a time frame that I enjoy talking about because I've kind of taken my wife down this road with me, and she will tell you that she loves going to the pig and going to that drive. But then we were talking about it during, and she's like, I just wish this would go away so we can go do the things that we love to do. And I know what it is that she was talking about. She wants to go to drive-in restaurants. She wants to go find drive-in restaurants. She wants to go to drive-in movie theaters and just do all the stuff that is romanticized from the times when Project Spirit and cars like her and cars that were older than her were brand new. Going down the road. For the record, my mom had a 1974 Maverick, and I remember going down the road in that Maverick listening to the Pointer Sisters on the radio. Not a joke. Listening to the Pointer Sisters. Oh, and Aretha Franklin, her song "Freeway of Love." I remember that on the radio, listening to that in my mom's old '74 Ford Maverick in the '80s as a kid. Actually, so if my mom's watching, I know she'll be shocked that I still remember that because I was real, real, real little then. Real little. I might have to go into the Discord later and actually post some of those pictures. Right? Think Different is right now. He's there on memory lane right now. From times when. Oh, I know the type of car you're talking about. Yeah, the Super Bee. The Dodge Super Bee. All you kids out there that talk about how, talk about the Chargers and the Challengers, Super Bee, GTX, Roadrunner, the Plymouth Roadrunner. I'm sorry, the Plymouth Roadrunner and the Super Bee, basically the same car, just ramped up to, an 11. And of course, the GTX. Yeah. Come on, kids. You don't know cars until you start talking cars like that. That's the serious go-getters from the. Yep, I know the type you're talking about. My dad had a '64 Chevelle. Again, my mom, she had, shoot, my grandparents, when I was a kid, had a '70 Buick Skylark. That piece of shit, backwards engines. Never could keep that thing running right. Um, let's see. There's a lemon in every car company, and Buick is just one giant. Anyhow, they had some good looking ones though, but other than that, Buick engines backwards and pain in the ass to work on. My goodness. Yeah, you caught that. Because the distributor's in the front of a Buick where the rest of the GMs had their distributor in the back. Yeah, you caught that. You're going to be I was wondering if anybody caught that. And it would be you that caught that. You're the only one that probably caught that because of the distributors being in the front of the frickin' engine. For those that do not know, don't call yourself that. You're more than a car guy. I hate that term car guy. That's just a cute way of saying car enthusiast. No, you're a gearhead because I know you've worked on them. You know your way around a dang toolbox. Okay? Car enthusiasts, they just know what's on the brochure. They know the brochure stuff, We're gearheads, we're motorheads, or hot rodder, shade tree mechanic. Give yourself anything. You're a gearhead, man. Don't you're far past car enthusiast. Car guy. Anyhow, I have a serious disdain for trying to give new names to stuff that we've already had a name for and it's well established. There's a reason why. All righty.
There we go. So we're going to go ahead. You better. You know it. I think you do. You better. I think you ought to know where I live. Yeah, I think you do actually. For those that don't know, Think Different does live. Actually, he did. I don't think he lives too terribly far from HQ. So amazingly enough, he can actually come over and hang out with me. That's an invitation, brother. And you heard it. All righty. Let's see if I can start setting this crap up. Ah, don't tell me that. Bonne Terre's an easy town to figure out. Come on, you uncooperative piece of... There we go. All right, as promised, we are going to be doing a cooking episode. We're going to be using the microwave some, but we're going to be using the oven a little bit, and we're going to be doing a little bit of cold work here. Oh, battery pack. I don't know why that was important, but it was. All right, here. I think because Project Spirit, her hood, prop decided to kick out on one day because the wind was blowing. It caught the hood, lifted it up a little bit, and knocked her hood prop down. Well, then her hood came down. And I just moved my head. Well, I had another pack that was actually denim covered. You know, it was like blue jean material all around the outside. Came down and busted that battery pack. About destroyed one of my cameras. I was pretty upset about that. But that's just how it is here in Missouri. The weather sometimes sucks. Alrighty. So we got some tater tots, even though that's not what they call them. They're tater tots. Alright, real quick. Preheat oven to 425 degrees Fahrenheit. No, Gamerin, we're not a cake. Already hear you. While the oven is preheating, I need to find my timer. Honey, where's my timer? Oh, she ain't here right now. Well, we can... there it is. We're going to do the full bag, so we're going to go to about, I'm going to say 19 minutes. Alrighty. While the oven is preheating, we're going to throw these back in and keep them cold. And since we're doing an old... Hey, what's going on, Daniel? Welcome to the live stream. Gamerin. Where's my cake? We're going to have to come over here so we can bake it for you. What do you think of that? Yeah, a real cheese grater. Real quick, I'm going to tell y'all a joke one time that got me in a lot of trouble with an ex-girlfriend. When her and I were still together. She kind of pissed me off one day, and I don't remember even what pissed me off, but I got pissed off at her and I said, dealing with you is like masturbating with a cheese grater. Slightly amusing, but mostly painful. And now y'all wonder why she's an ex-girlfriend. What's going on, KJ Del Rey? Folks, we got another special gem here on YouTube who's just joined us. Miss KJ Del Rey, one of the sweetest gals here on YouTube. Absolutely a joy to have here on the Prince Magnum channel. And yet is another one of those ladies that does not get enough credit for being, having the personality that she does here on YouTube. You are in for. You like that, Gavin John? KJ, you missed it yesterday. My wife put me in drag makeup again. We had a lot of fun. I looked good. I looked really good. Of course, my wife's a heck of an artist in so many different ways. Which brings to mind, KJ, have you seen the real star of the Prince Magnum channel? I don't think you've seen the real star. Oh, you were watching? Okay. KJ, have you met Project Spirit, my 1975 Ford Maverick? Oh, well, thank you. I don't think you've met Project Spirit yet. Right now, we're kind of waiting for the oven to preheat and that sort of thing. You have not. Well, my dear friend, you are in for a treat because we're talking about drive-in style restaurants today, and that's what we're going to be doing is a drive-in style, restaurant dish, and we're doing chili cheese tater tots. So we're waiting for the oven to preheat. Normally, this is done in a deep fry, but I got to start taking care of myself a little bit better than I have over the years. I'm going to be turning 41 this year. So I have to start really, really taking care of myself. I'm not in the shape I once was. It's not like I'm, like back in my 20s, where I could eat whatever I want and didn't have anything to worry about. But let's take you on down. You have got to meet Project Spirit. Now, bear in mind, think different. He loves Project Spirit. And when I say this is the real star of the Prince Magnum channel, to get the channel started in the direction that it was going, let me just say it like this, and you'll understand once you get a look at this car. This is a 45-year-old car that I still drive daily. I take my wife out on dates in this car, and once you get a look at her, you'll understand when I say that the Prince Magnum channel is the house that Project Spirit built. You'll understand when I say that. This is Project Spirit. Everybody who lays eyes on this car falls in love with her. My wife and I work on this car together. I take my wife, not only do I drive this car to work, but I take my wife on dates in this car. This is what it's all about here on the channel. Now, KJ, I know you love art, and I know you love all that stuff like that. Woo! Yeah. The pinstriping you see on this car is not factory. My wife put the pinstriping on. Double date. There you go. Yeah, we could do that. Now, KJ, you're going to love this. Three-speed manual transmission. And I mean only 3 gears. It's still a stick shift, so right down there's your 3 pedals. Okay. First, second, third, and that's all you get. That's reverse. Okay? Giving you the quick dime tour. I think you would enjoy that. Of course, I think you're also looking for an excuse because you want to drive Spirit. And for the record, all right, I know there's been a bunch of you that kind of come in. You have no idea how to drive stick. All right, KJ, you're going to love this. This is an old school design. This is how you would crash. I could teach you to drive stick. I know you don't live terribly far from me, but I could teach you how to drive stick. It's not that hard. Okay, you're going to love this. I got her in neutral. This ignition here, you cannot, the wheel is locked. I know you could drive Spirit. Okay. But this key here, you put this key in to the old ignition, turn it to the on position, and now the wheel is unlocked. But this key does not start the car. Right here, though, is another key. Turn that to the on position, but that still does not start the car. This button does. Even if you bypass this, you still have to bypass this, or you're only stealing her in a straight line. And along with that, this button does not work without this key. Alrighty, as some of you all call it here on the Prince Magnum channel, sounds of the 70s. I got him right here. Oh, power windows? I don't think so. Still works 45 years later. By the way, no air conditioning either. We didn't need it back then. Right here is my air conditioning. This is an actual vent system that goes to the cowl. Those little louvers out there. Yeah, I'm wondering where Sean is again. But what that is the louvers out there. You pull this open here, and it opens its vent to the outside. And it'll actually, cool air will blow right in on you as you're going down the road. Just like air conditioning, only more efficient. Yep, they let in air, see? And that is exactly what I like. By the way, again, my wife, he had a, okay, 2001, that's not bad. My wife's got a 2003 Pontiac Grand Am GT, known as Project Lena. Yeah, she does project cars of her own, too. So, this is, y'all hear me say this is where hot rodding and romance do coexist. Well, we ain't a kidding. My wife bought me this car. We work on it together. And on top of that, we go out on dates in this car. This is what it's all about. Stuff like this. This is what I enjoy. And to be able to take you all and show you what it's all about. Yeah, we know who the real star is. It isn't me. The real star is out there. That car has earned it. Shoot, most cars can't even last past 7 years nowadays. And the fact that Project Spirit's lasted as long as she has, that's more than impressive. Okay. So we are now back into the kitchen, and we're still waiting on the preheat. Uncooperative mother. Good enough. All right. So, as I said, we're going to do real shredded cheese. Why is it that this just does not look right? There we go. There we go. Yeah, Sean's MIA again, doggone him. Let's see, we need somewhere to put said shredded cheese. Right there. set that off to the side. Grab our block o cheddar, and we'll get to grating. Now, why am I grating my own cheese? You making a... That's right, old style shredder. No, we are going to be doing chili cheese tater tots today. That's the name of the game. Real quick, since KJ was you were lurking in the live yesterday, checking out me, basically you were checking out what Prince Dragnum does. Let me tell you, if you did not hear the joke, my boss at work has decided that she's going to start calling me at work Gigi Hot Lips. I said a joke like that earlier, but only mine was more insult based. I was an asshole back when I was still drunk. All righty. That should be enough cheddar cheese. Now, again, this is traditional, and doing shredded cheese like you're seeing me do right now is very traditional for this particular dish. Now, oh, that's all right, Mr. Cartoon. That's totally fine. That's totally fine. I understand. I figured you probably busy or something. Working on some project. Ooh, it beep beep. That's a good thing. It go beep beep beep, right? All right, let's get all this stuff out of my way. Maybe one of these times we'll have to do root beer floats, right? You guys like root beer floats? I know some of y'all out there don't like root beer, but we might have to do sometime. We might have to also do orange floats too, right next to the root beer floats. That sounds like a great idea, doesn't it? Since we're doing diner foods. So we're going to put our shez up. And we need some tater tots. Here, tater tots. All right. There we go. Now, again, I could deep fry these. Well, hang on, Mr. Cartoon. There's a million things I'm doing right now. We'll get to that joke in a minute. One darn thing at a time, if you will. There we go. In the middle of a 425-degree oven, and we start the timer. I have been to a drive-in movie theater. There is one not too far from where I live that is still open. Well, not exactly right now, but they're still open, if you will. And a couple of years ago, I did an actual car show at this drive-in movie theater. All the proceeds from the car show went for suicide prevention. So the Prince Magnum channel has been a part of a lot of. I've been involved with a lot of charities to try and keep. I've been like the first one I ever did was called Cruising for the Blind. And then we did one for suicide prevention. You too? Awesome, awesome. But I've done a lot of charities here on the channel. And that probably shouldn't surprise a lot of you, but I didn't get any trophies there, but I did get a special thank you for shouting out, the entire event and everything. And what movie did I see at this one? Of all the things, it was a couple days before Burt Reynolds passed away, but I got to watch. I scared of the dark. Somebody hold me. That's like when I joke with poor Queen Bee, but that is her favorite joke. Whether she'll admit it or not, that is her favorite joke. Is I'm scared of the dark. Somebody hold me. Of course, I tease her all the time, saying her favorite joke really is, her favorite joke is the office chair. You know. Okay. For those that are not familiar with the office chair joke, let me explain. Because I know all of us are kind of sick. What is that? Okay, Mr. Cartoon. You're in for... I'm going to so have fun with it. Gosh dang it. Come on. There it is. What is the office chair joke? Okay, let me explain how the office chair joke works. What's going on, Bloodline? The office joke is this. Think about it like this. My office chair squeaks. And all I have to do, because I know all of us here are very, very perverse people, is, make this. Yeah, all I could do is make a suggestive sound with the squeaking of my office chair, and everybody will lose it. They'll start laughing because we're all pretty sick. And it kind of goes like this. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh, we some sick puppies. Sick, 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 sick. Sick. Oh my God, that's funny as hell. Oh man. And we have so much fun. We have so much fun. Oh man. And a few people got to see Project Spirit today. Oh yeah. And if Queen Bee's in the background, she's laughing uncontrollably. Uncontrollably right now. Like he did it again. He did it again. Every time I start making that joke, she'll get really quiet. Right now she's in the background lurking. She's working on something else right now, but helping me out with the watch time. Yep. Oh, Mr. Cartoon, you asked the question. The joke that you asked the question. The joke that I got ticked off. This was like a long time ago. I got ticked off at one of my exes, and this might be one of the reasons why she's an ex. But I got upset. She did something that upset me, or I forget exactly what it was. And I looked at her and said, dealing with you is like masturbating with a cheese grater, slightly amusing, but mostly painful. And that our relationship didn't work out. I was still drinking heavily at that time. So everything that was rude, crude, and, just like that was funny to me. Today we try to keep our jokes very classy, to squeaking, oh yeah, office chair jokes. Real high class sort of. No, it's not high class. Yeah, high class jokes. Like,
making your office chair squeak and making suggestive sounds to go along with it. Oh man, we have so much fun. Um, oh no, I'm gonna have to go back and check that out. Give me a second here. Well, I'm waiting for this to make its updates. What the hell, dude? What the hell? Oh my gosh, what am I gonna do with you? I could probably use it at some point. No, Queen Bee actually lives in like the next state over. Um, but she's a her and TFZ Gaming, they're dear friends of the channel. Because I turned it down and my hearing is so acute that I can hear like just like real faint sounds. If there's not a whole lot of noise going on, I can hear really, really long distances. And I could just about pinpoint how far away it is. Even at my age, it's still impressive how well my hearing still works. Um, and I think that might have something to do with my Native American past. I'm not 100% sure, but that is something that has always been a thing. I can just hear really, really long distances. So I could actually hear, I could actually play that. Yes, I just barely turned on the volume and I could hear it. Just a couple clicks and that's all I need. The only time I have to listen to something loud is just because it's music, you know. Oh yeah, yeah, it was funny as heck. like the oh yeah man, oh yeah. Now there's your Macho Man Randy Savage impression. Oh man. And if you want to do a Hulk Hogan impression, you do kind of a, just try to mimic his voice and just say, "Oh brother," every 5 seconds. That's why I said, "What the hell?" Yeah, that's exactly why. All right, so we've got our tater tots in the oven. 101. Uh, we got our tater shredded. Yep, you heard the shred joke, the cheese grater joke. So I got my battery pack again. Not that that's important. We're getting ready to go back into the kitchen because I know we're getting closer to time. And I will actually whip up. I'm not going to assemble Princess Phase until she gets home. But what I am going to do is assemble mine so you guys can see it. Again, this is something that, I mean, anybody could do this. Anybody could do this. And this is just great drive-in, date food, if you will. Because a lot of us, I'm under self-quarantine for the most part. Oh no, she's picky as hell. Picky as hell with her food. Um, you know, there are certain dishes that she will request me to make because they're her favorites, but she's very picky, very picky. There's a handful of dishes that I do that she's not a huge fan of. Um, but then there's other ones that you'd swear to God that was like, yeah, she'll eat gummy worms. She'll eat gummy worms, gummy bears, all that stuff like that. It's gelatin. You got good hearing too? Yeah, mine's exceptionally well. So, all right. So, what we're going to do from hither, I'm going to disconnect here. Fucking hell. All right. And no, she won't eat real worms. There we go. There we go. So you can hear it for really long distances too. Which my hearing actually helps make working on Project Spirit so much easier. So, let us return to the kitchen. I'm scared of the dark. Somebody hold me. Says the guy wearing a Punisher t-shirt. Alrighty. Y'all just sit right there, and I'm gonna check on our tater tots. Hey, looking good. Looking good. Getting close. Okay. Since they are getting close, I told it already. Were you not listening about the cheese grater? Because I know I just said it. Told my ex that dealing with her was like masturbating with a cheese. Booze is forbidden for me in this house. Princess Faye has a drink every now and again. As a matter of fact, she's got a bottle of wine in the fridge. I don't touch it. I'm not interested. But as far as anybody, people can come over to my place and have a drink if they want. I just don't partake. I've got other stuff that I could drink. I got my coffee over here. You know, I just don't drink. Okay. That's just the way it is. Now some alcoholics in recovery, they won't allow any alcohol to be served in their home. No, I don't do any. I'm not that man. Why would you do that? Why? 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 All righty. What kind of dipshit motherfucking stunt is that? Anyhow. All righty. Now, I will say this. If you can make your own homemade chili for something like this, by all means, my hat's off to the chef if you want to do it. But this is a convenient thing, and in the diners, it was canned chili. Yes, I do. Yes, I do. Like that.
You're all right, buddy. I'm wondering if my sis was going to join us. Brand of chili, doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. Whatever your flavor. All right. Whatever you like, that's what you roll with. All righty. There's the first one. Well, you could do all those specialty chilies, but in your old style drive-ins, they wouldn't have used anything like that. They would have used just basic canned chili, just like we're using right here. Okay, they would have used just your basic canned chili. All right, so we're gonna, as part of, no beer. I don't drink anymore, and we don't want me drinking. All righty, here we go. Give that a stir, and we're going to throw this in the Nuka wave. Okay. Very simple, easy to do dish. We're going to start it off in about a minute. And speaking of a minute, we got about a minute to go on our tater tots. As you can tell, we're actually under a minute now. You go beep, 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 beep. There we go. All righty. Oh, I can answer the question because Think Different is all right, everybody, be cool with each other, be cool. He games. It go beep beep. Yeah, put on my glove. Clear that off. All right. Ooh, there it is. That first big blast of steam, as you can tell, because my glasses get all fogged, and I literally can't see shit out of them for a moment. All righty. Oh, here, I got to show you guys this really funny. All righty. I got to show you guys this. When I'm at work, one of the jokes that I have at work is this. I'll take like oven mitts or whatever, and it sounds better with the ones we got at work, but you guys will get the general idea. I'll pull them down kind of low on my hands like this, and I'll take and walk up to somebody unsuspecting, and then I say, "Hey, check this out," and they just laugh uncontrollably. Good point. You asked the question. This is a chili cheese tater tot episode, okay? So the tater tots, you're going to take, now, you could lay these out on a plate like such, okay? Now, this is an awful lot of chili. So this, I meant to give it a stir. So we're going to stir this back up, okay? Give it a good stir. And there we go. Back in for another minute. What does this have to do? What does the chili and the... We're getting to that. Good question. All right. Let's say, yeah, you guys be cool with each other. But you lay out your raw family here. And I don't recommend grabbing a hot pan like that. That was stupid. The frick is wrong with me? Alrighty. You guys get the general idea. Basically, we got our tater tots. These look great. There we go. Might also help if I turn that off too. My goodness. Nintendo, you are an ornery guy. All right, here's the chili. And then we come over here. Grab our shredded cheese that we did earlier in the live and lay that on there. Just like that. Got ourselves a fork. Now, that is what chili has to do with tater tots. But of course, we don't have to stop there. This was built for add-ons. This was built for add-ons. Hang on here. Oh, where did I put it? No, that definitely ain't it. This was built for add-ons if you can find the add-ons. Yeah, here's some. Nope. Remember our pickled jalapenos? Yeah, perfect. Just like that. Some chips, yeah, you could throw in some chips. Whatever your flavor. Of course, I know when Princess Faye gets home, she won't do jalapenos, but she'll just throw on some sour cream. Okay? So that's going to be basically, this has got its add-ons. Shoot, we can even go a step further. We can even make it a little finer. Fresh ground black pepper. We can add some of that if we'd like. Just like that. Okay? A couple grinds fresh ground black pepper. And that is dinner. Diner style food. What do you guys think? Pretty cool? Ooh, I was scared of the dark. Somebody hold me. The gag continues. All right, let's go in, get some coffee, and we'll recap, okay? And it's really easy. Took us what? I mean, if I'd have done all of it together, I mean, all of it at once, pretty much, like I was in an actual restaurant situation, it may have taken me a total of about 25 minutes, half an hour, okay? So half an hour for a dish that maybe cost us a total of $10 and could have fed about 4 people. Okay? Not bad. Probably closer to 15. So $15. All right, guys. Be cool. Be cool, okay? Oh, come on here. But you get the general idea. I mean, anybody could do that. Anybody could do this. Easy stuff. And I know there's some of you out there that didn't get a chance to see, what, how, the old drive-ins were like. I'm still old enough to remember what this was like back in the day. All we need now is a Think Different. Do you mind if I kind of give some of your story real quick of what I do know? Because I think that'll kind of solve some of it. Blacklight, Think Different is like me. He kind of struggles with the alcohol side of it all. It's one of the reasons why he's here. That's one of the reasons why he comes to the Prince Magnum channel, because I'm in recovery. And him and I have talked at great length about how he battles with his alcoholism. So when he said, he's like telling you he doesn't want you to drink and that sort of thing like that, if you will, it's kind of like he doesn't want to see you possibly end up like us. So if you will, that's why, okay? It's not that he's, it's, coming from that angle, okay? Coming from, some people, and on Sundays, this is the day that we actually, to give you an idea, because Sundays are, the weekends are hard for alcoholics in general. We actually had to, initially, I would take Sundays off and wouldn't stream. Think Different asked me to move my off day for streaming to Mondays because of how much of a struggle it is for alcoholics just like us. So now do you understand? This is so he's actually he's just like me, but the difference is that he's still living the earlier struggles of what it's like being in someone like my shoes. And he's a very respected person here on the channel. He's one of the people that the reason why we push a sober talk at least once a week, twice if we can get away with it. He's one of the reasons why we do it, is because of that alone. So if you're wondering why, that's why he's, he doesn't want you to end up like us. He's a good man, real good man. I know, as a matter of fact, him and I have actually met. There's actually a few people here on the Prince Magnum channel that I've actually met in person. There's a few of y'all all out there. So now that you know, all we need now is the guys from the old G.I. Joe cartoon saying, "And knowing is half the battle." Anyhow. Now to give you guys an idea what this is like. Now, all we would need is one of those old style. You guys get the general idea, but this is really good.
The cheese is now all melted on there. And mm. And these are our homemade pickled jalapenos, if you guys remember. These are amazing like this. Oh my gosh. So this was made here at home. Princess Faye has diner style, the drive-in style food waiting for her the moment she gets home, which isn't going to be too terribly long from now. So she's got this food waiting for her when she gets home. Really easy to reheat. Put it in a 200-degree oven. Pepper. Oh. But you put it in a 200-degree oven for about 10 minutes. Heats back up and it's not soggy. Okay? Really easy to do. Then put on your shredded cheese, whatever you like. And the jalapenos are amazing. Much better than what you'll get just, from how they pickle them in the stores. Because we did this in like a kosher dill style. Actually, our sour pickle style used the same exact recipe for our sour pickles that we made the other in one of the earlier streams. And that's what's on here. And then we've got our shredded cheese. Now, why did I not use the pre-shredded? The pre-shredded cheese, the reason why we don't use that is it comes with, number one, it comes with like a cornstarch on it. And that's fine if you're trying to thicken stuff, but on a dish like this, not very good. And in your old drive-in restaurants, a dish like this, they would have grated their own cheese in-house, okay? That's exactly why we did that. And the other reason why we did it this way is because cheese that stays whole longer tastes better. It stays fresher. The flavor is more there. And with the cornstarch, it would just, diminish the flavor even more. This is why we did it that way. And then when it melts, it tastes great. Absolutely great. Also note, we do not use cheese slices because cheese slices don't melt like the shredded cheese and it's not authentic. So. And Think Different is one of those guys that we always appreciate him here on the channel. He's an important person. When he asked me to make those changes, I'm like, brother, for you, I'll be glad to do it. And I'm glad I did it because if it had not been for Think Different's ideas, making those changes, yeah. When he did that, it actually helped my watch time minutes. Because of him, I probably picked up an extra, I probably picked up an extra 100 hours of watch time minutes a month because of our boy Think Different. So if that tells you any idea. So again, this entire dish, again, you could put on, we could even add in homemade bacon bits if we wanted, which I could have made, but I didn't. So absolutely amazing, very easy to make. I feel very horrible eating this in front of you all. We stay in sobriety long enough, brother. You'll lighten up on that stuff. Don't worry. I make jokes about my own sobriety. Like one of the things that you'll hear me joke about saying is I'm allergic to alcohol. Every time I drink, I break out in spots. Farmington, Park Hills, Ironton. That one time I showed up in Peevely, Fredericktown. You get the idea. Um, so that's why I make jokes like that all the time. So eventually you're not there yet. Give it some time. Give it some time. You will be there. I promise you. I believe me, I promise you. All right. So we got a total of 6 people in the live stream and a total of 11 likes. If you've not dropped a like for me, now would definitely be a great time for you to do so. So I hope you all took this in. Again, if you were wondering what this was all about, now I know our boy Think Different. He's about my age too. And something like this in a restaurant, this would have been something that, like at an old Sonic restaurant. I don't know if they still do something like this. If they don't, they need to. But imagine it, getting something like this served up to you, and you're sitting out in a car like Project Spirit. They bring something like this to you. I do know what those days are like. And you got my email here. Think different. Here's what I want you to do, brother. I'm going to put my email address in the chat right now. And after the stream is over, I want you to give me a holler, okay? Shoot me an email, and I'm going to send you my phone number, okay? And I want you to give me a call, okay? I'm going to be up for a good while tonight. I want you to give me a call. We're going to chit chat, all right? That's what I want you to do. I'm asking you, not as some, up and coming YouTuber. I'm not asking you some up and coming YouTuber or some local celebrity. I'm asking you as a friend. Here is my email address. I want you to shoot me an email. I'm going to send you my phone number, and I want you to get, and we're doing this all right after this. When this stream shuts down for the night, that's what I want you to do, okay? I want you to shoot me, and we're going to talk. We're going to get through this mess, and you will have my number at your disposal. And your job is to, anytime you start thinking about a drink, I turned him over to the local authorities in his town. That's what I did, Mr. Cartoon. On top of that, we there you guys go. See, you guys are going to be all right. But to answer your question, Mr. Cartoon, the local authorities in his town was actually impressed with my detective work, and they pretty well knew who I was talking about. Yeah, they pretty well knew who I was talking about. In this particular case, there you go. So again, very easy dish to make. All right. So did you guys learn anything? Again, this is, imagine the old style drive-in restaurant. Well, I don't normally do that. Yeah, where the hell is Sean? Where the hell is that guy tonight? I know he's been having problems with his internet, really. Damn good. But my goodness. Oh my goodness. I just seen something I hadn't seen in a while. So yeah, Sean's been having problems with his internet as of late, and I'm not sure why, but Sean has been having problems with his internet. I'm beginning to think he's got the same internet provider I do, and yeah, that explains everything. Brother, don't worry about it. You got, I told you, you got my email. I'm expecting a quick email so I can shoot you my phone number. We're going to get through this mess, okay? We're going to get through this. And see, that's what it's all about. We still come together. How many times I got to say it? You guys are awesome. I'm one of the I'm the lucky guy here. I got the awesome, people, that help build my channel up. You guys are the ones that really make it awesome. Every last one of you, you guys are the ones that make the Prince Magnum channel awesome. I'm the great, I'm the lucky content creator because I have the best supporters in the world. I know a lot of times, it's been been a minute since I've said it like that, but you guys are what makes the Prince Magnum channel awesome. You guys are the ones that build me up and make me into the guy that, yeah, where the hell is Sean? He running around somewhere. Sean? Yeah. All righty. We got to talk about something important here. Because we're getting too close to that 2-hour marker. We haven't talked about this in a moment. Here on the Prince Magnum channel, we use these. We haven't had too much in the way of trolls as of late. That's fine by me. We had one the other day. Let's do 3. No, I do need to kind of. Princess Faye is going to be home here in a bit. And I do need to spend some time with. We have done a 3-hour stream before. We've done up to 3 hours. We've went all the way. I've had to be told because we were working on 4 hours, and I'm like, Princess Faye is like, all right, enough's enough. You need to take a break. You need to shut it down. I want to spend time with you. So we have done it before. We went all the way up to. We actually one stream went almost 3.5 hours. I have thought about doing a 24-hour. I have thought about it. And I will have to talk to Princess Faye about that, but we are looking at doing that soon. I have no idea what the frick we're gonna do in that 24-hour, but I know we're gonna do some. But we have talked about it. We've talked about it at great length. Believe it or not. All righty. So let's talk about the fact that the Prince Magnum channel is a DIY channel. Yeah. We got a lot of you all from around the world. I cannot believe the amount of people that we have in Australia and in the UK alone. We have a lot of you guys from Aussie and to a bedtime stream. Careful. You never know how that bedtime stream might turn out. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Anyhow. What's going on, Daniel? Welcome back. All right. All right. Now that we have like listening now. Bedtime stream. Oh, yeah. Anyhow. All right. Let's talk about the fact that the Prince Magnum channel is a DIY channel. Since we're a DIY, since the Prince Magnum channel is a DIY channel, let me talk about the fact that the Prince Magnum channel uses these cameras that go out over the hood of Project Spirit and Project Lena. Uh, and uh, and since these cameras are so great, they go out, they get these awesome shots over the hood of Project Spirit and Project Lena. We use these cameras for everything. Unfortunately, since they're dash cams, uh, there is no camera stands or camera mounts for them. That's the unfortunate problem. But because of that, we are a DIY channel, and it just makes sense. Why don't we just make I know you did, and I appreciate that. And I hope you had fun because that was the whole point was I'm not exactly from Australia, but sometimes some people would think I am because of how much I appreciate the Australian car culture. I do have a great appreciation for the Aussie car culture. But anyhow, so I decided to make my own camera mount. So in behind HQ is the small patch of trees. And normally the city comes through and just cuts these trees down to keep down the snakes and everything like that. Because we got kids that run around in the neighborhood. So, there you go. So because of that, we got the idea, that I just went in and I cut down this small tree. And I cut out a section of wood for making a camera mount. And this is it right here. And literally this, I cut the bottom down so it sits flush like that, so it sits flat. And then I carved out this section right here for the camera itself. And the camera just sits right like that. Then right over here, this little knock is where the camera lens sits because the camera lens juts off of the camera itself, about an inch or two. So literally the camera lens sits right there. Now, in order to get this little knock for the camera lens, what I had to do is I had to take this file right here, this half moon shaped file, and I laid it down right like that and worked it back and forth till I got that perfect spot for the camera lens. So that means that since I took this file right here and used it on this block of wood, that must mean I am really good at filing and should try my hand at being a secretary. It's just not the same without Sean here. I say, where the hell is Sean? Because he loses his shit every time we do that joke. And of course, Queen Bee, Pisces, and everybody else, they all y'all lose it whenever I do the office chair joke. Yeah, we need Sean to make that joke. Even Queen Bee, well, Queen Bee's lurking in the background to help my watch time, but she's been lurking in the background. I need to get over and see the chairman on his channel. I got to get over there and see and spend some time on his channel because he's got a lot of videos I've not seen yet. And he's got a pretty good channel from what I've seen. It's really nice. But I've just not got over there and seen his stuff as of late. So I got to get over there. All right. So that brings us to the spot where we do need to wind it down for the night. Think different? I'm expecting that email so I can give you my phone number. All right. That is your challenge for the evening. So that brings us to our usual spot. Okay. Again, you guys are awesome. Every last one of you out there in the Maverick Nation. You guys are what makes the Prince Magnum channel what it is. You guys are amazing through and through. And I still need every last one of you to continue to help make this channel what it is today. All right. And along with that, that brings us to the spot. Thank you for that 12th like. What's going on? Jamie, I'm getting ready to wind it down. Where the heck have you been? Oh my gosh, you missed what we made. We made chili cheese tater tots. That's what we did tonight. Oh, thank you so much. A 3-hour mark. Think different. What the hell, man? My wife, I got to spend time with my wife, you know? Well, I'll show you. I'll show you what we made. Chili cheese tater tots, and I even threw on some of our own homemade pickled jalapenos, which taste absolutely amazing. I totally get it. You guys are awesome, and I totally get it. You got to take care of your sweetheart, and that's what you're doing. Good job, man. You got a good gal there. You got to take good care of her. You got a real good gal, Jamie. For those of you who do not know, Jamie is also part of that early expansion. Basically, there was a lot of people that were part of that last year big expansion of the Prince Magnum channel. Jamie of the Isolationist Network, he was part of that big expansion. And when I first hooked up with him, it was over in a guy's stream, Choices Games. And then we met there. And then, of course, eventually I met his sweetheart, Nerdy Nikki. And, of course, they shout me out regularly. And I should love you too, brother. Love you too, brother. And at first, he started kind of seeing the car stuff. He's like, this is kind of interesting. So Jamie was right. He's like, that's some neat stuff. And so he was actually, when I first started, yep. He was a part of that big expansion last year, where we jumped from 355 supporters in the Maverick Nation. We jumped from that around March. And by the end of the year, we were staring down the barrel at 1K. And that was at the beginning of this year. We were getting ready to cross that threshold. Jamie was part of that big expansion. So if that's any indication what it was like, and Jamie, of the Isolationist Network, he was one like, get out. He's like, shouting me out, getting people to come over and check out what we were doing here on the channel. He was constantly, he was one of those ones, trying to get me out there and get people to come over and check us out. And now today, look at us, look at us. So that's why he's one of the key players in the Maverick Nation. He's one of those major cogs. But it was, but YouTube has this nasty habit, even though you earned that supporter, if one of your supporters goes silent for about 3 months, YouTube will say, oh, well, they're not interested in you anymore, and they'll take that away from you. Even though legally, they can't do that. Legally, they can't do that, okay? And they do that so the bigger channels, say, like, let me give you an example. You'll come on here to the Prince Magnum channel, and you watch some car stuff, okay? Well, now they'll recommend, say, like the Scotty Kilmer channel, which Scotty Kilmer is not a bad guy, or they'll recommend like Donut Media, okay? And okay, well, here's some more car stuff. You'll go over and look at Donut Media. They get paid for it. YouTube gets paid for it. And the small guy gets screwed in the end, okay? And they'll keep doing that and kind of wheel you back down, trying to keep you under that 1K marker. So we will eventually talk about this again. Hi, Queen. there's Miss Queen Bee back. But yes, that's what they do. And Queen, you missed it. Yeah. So they've been trying to hold me back for a little while now, but don't worry. We are still the juggernauts here. Okay. All it takes is that, basically, YouTube doesn't realize it. The makeup live streams yesterday, when I shut the camera off, we crossed 127. There you go. There you go, Jamie. We had 127 views. YouTube is actually trying to whittle that back a little bit. Because when I looked a little while ago, it was sitting at 125. They're getting nervous. And they're going to have to actually start admitting that we are a lot further along than we are. Queen, you're going to love this. Chili cheese tater tots. Chili cheese tater tots. What do you think? And we have our homemade pickled jalapenos on here too. Fresh ground black pepper. So the moment Princess Faye gets home, that's what's going to be waiting on her. Sounds good, doesn't it? You know better. Every time you're in one of these Surviving Mance episodes or live streams, you're always sitting there going, "You're making me hungry. That looks really good. I want some." Every time. And of course, we have sour cream for Princess Faye because she likes her sour cream. She doesn't eat the jalapenos like I do. That's right. That was what, a couple months ago? And those are good for up to 3 months in the refrigerator. And we're almost out, so I'm gonna have to make some more. I love pickling is one of the things that I also do here on. I love pickling. So there you go. The day that I hit 1K, this is not a joke, YouTube bumped me back all the way to north. They say that stop my play. YouTube actually took and moved me back. It can be a winter thing, but I do it all year long if you let me. YouTube actually, when I hit 1K, I was sitting at 1005. YouTube didn't just take away 10, 15 like they normally do. Sometimes 20. No, they moved me all the way back to 955. 2 days later, I was sitting at 1.01K, and YouTube shit a brick. And then we went live like this, and I turned right around and started talking about how, COPA and how it's time for the creators to make their own union to fight back against YouTube. YouTube tried to shut us down a total of 3 times during that live stream. 3 times. And I was able to get it back up before they were able to shut us down. YouTube wanted to shut us down and shut us up. The Prince Magnum channel has been around for almost 5, well, we've had videos that are older than this, but we have been, the true Prince Magnum channel, as you guys know today, has been in existence for almost 5 years. That being said, in those 5 years, the Prince Magnum channel has also is actually still partnered with YouTube because we were monetized. That's right. I just said it. The Prince Magnum channel at one time was fully monetized here on YouTube. That also being said, when they had the adpocalypse, that is true. The older content it's changed a lot, but the basis was always there. I had a lot to learn, but what you see here, we've come a long ways. But yes, so I know exactly what you guys are talking about, and maybe I need to do another live stream. If you guys all want, we'll start talking live stream about forming that union, because there's actually some people in the area that some actual lawyers that want to help with with the actual creation of a union for content creators on YouTube. And literally, because there's so many of us, even just here in the US, which now it looks like we would actually have to, turn right around and start including people from around the world. Literally, though, if you think about it, it would only take $10, US, which ironically enough now for those of or thereabouts, basically about $10 wherever you're at in the world. And that covers you for a whole year. If YouTube tries to mess with your channel, immediately you contact the union and say, look, this is what they're doing to me. They call the lawyer and they take YouTube immediately to court. And that would be how it works. And basically, no, you can't do this. And they would sue YouTube and basically get you the money. And YouTube gets nervous when I start talking about that. So as a reminder, if there is anybody on YouTube who's secretly watching in the background, leave my numbers alone and keep them honest, or I'm going to keep talking like this. I'm not kidding. I know how to hit you where it hurts. Yeah, because I'm partnered. You better be, when I go in, you better be, you know what I'm saying. I'm going to be shutting down the stream here in a bit, but I think what we're probably going to do, I know at some point we may, I have an idea for a live stream later on tomorrow, but I'm not going to be live, but we'll get it. We'll get my watch time. We'll get my watch time. All right. So that does bring us to a good stopping point, though. I got to spend time with my wife. So you guys are awesome. Every last one of you out there. You guys are the Maverick Nation. Y'all are too hot to handle, too cold to hold. You guys are what makes the Prince Magnum channel awesome. Outside of the box thinkers, okay? And as a reminder for all of you in the Maverick Nation, not only are you guys, so amazing and so awesome and all that other stuff, you guys help me stay sober too. Every one of you. Okay? You guys are important to me. It's not just lips, just me, a sound bite, blah, 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 and I mean it. When I say it, I mean it. You guys help me stay sober today. Every one of you. I need you guys as much as I hope you need me. All right? That brings us to the point where I do need to jump off of here. Like I said, Princess Faye will be home soon. And tomorrow is the off day, but we are working on where there's going to be a stream where, maybe you guys might get to just hang with the real star of the channel, Project Spirit. Who knows? Who knows? That's something I've been working on, where it'd be like a 24-hour stream where the camera would just be on. I love the dark. Where the camera would just be on Project Spirit the whole time. I've considered that. And I know a lot of y'all. Yes. And be sure to check out Queen Bee, who's over on Twitch. Queen Bee is our refugee from Twitch. Hey, believe it or not, people would watch. I know people would watch that. I wouldn't have to do a damn thing. Just turn on the camera and let y'all chat and hang out with Project Spirit. She wouldn't say much back to you, but that's the real star of the channel. Nobody really cares what I have to say at that point. It's like, Prince Magnum, what you're saying is great, but we're more interested in Project Spirit. She's the real star. I know it. Oh, well, I'll be all right. All right. Yeah, she'd keep quiet until I started her up. All right, guys. You guys are awesome. So I got to jump off of here. As always, get out there and work on a project. I don't care what it is. Just do something with yourself. Remember, idle hands and a creative mind go together like oil and water. If you have a sweetheart, sweep them off their feet. Do something special for them today. You might even make them some chili cheese tater tots like you would have found in an old drive-in restaurant. And as always, for all of you out there, especially in these dark times, if no one out there has told any of you that they love you today, Prince Magnum does. God bless you and have a happy 24. Thank you.